Welcome to the St. Therese of Carmel Sharing Our Blessings campaign. Jesus said to us, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded, and from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." Sharing Our Blessings is a capital campaign designed to support the Capilla Cristo Rey project of the Our Lady of Guadalupe parish in El Centro. St. Brigid parish in Pacific Beach is also conducting a capital campaign to provide support for the project. Reverend Nicholas Dempsey is pastor of St. Therese of Carmel, and he will introduce the background and goals of the campaign and describe its importance for the parishioners of St. Therese.
This is our fourth campaign, or fifth campaign. We've had so many, I'm not quite sure which one we're in now. But perhaps this one actually probably is the most difficult of the campaigns because the last campaigns we were raising money for our own campus, our own project, and it's much easier to give, I think, to something that you see. When you're giving for something that you don't actually visually see, it's a little more difficult to put your hand in your pocket. So I'm really appealing to you, especially in terms of sharing our blessings. So when I stand and look at the beautiful campus that we have here, roughly a 40 million project, you can understand how blessed we are to have this beautiful campus. And when Father Steve Callahan from the diocese, the administrator presently in the diocese, called me one day, I knew it was not for my health that he called me, and he kind of shocked me when he said, "Nick, I want you to raise $1 million for a project in El Centro for the parish of Our Lady of Guadalupe." And he said, "And we're going to try and raise $1 million too." That's St. Brigid's parish. So that's where we are coming from. I wanted to choose the theme for our campaign as sharing our blessings. And I'd really like you to keep that in mind, because I think all of us are called to share our blessings, and we've been truly blessed here. When you think that this little parish, it's not a little parish, it's actually about the same size as ourselves in terms of numbers, that they're trying to worship in a centre which would be less than half the size of our own parish here, the church in here, you can imagine how crowded they are into this small little space. So they're trying to expand their worship centre in such a way that it will become actually, I think, visibly somewhat more presentable as a worship centre. I mean, artistically, and also in terms of being able to fit in all their parishioners at the number of masses they have. So it's a $1 million project. They're also going to try and expand their school, their faith formation classes. They have very little parking, certainly for the numbers that they really need. So that kind of gives us some idea. It's a big project, but I think that we can really, if everybody decides to give of their blessings, I think we can raise $1 million to help these people. We went out to see it, and some of our parishioners have been out there too. We were tremendously impressed by the hospitality of the people there, and how grateful they were to think that another parish would really step up and try and help them. And that's kind of where we're at. In fact, during our own campaign, Joe Zamorano, who led the campaigns, reminded me, Father Nick, he said, "Don't you remember that people were asking us, when are we going to do something for a poor parish?" I said, "Joe, when we get it all together here." And so that's the stage we're at. Our goals, therefore, would be to get everybody participating. And if everybody participates, we should be able to raise the $1 million. You know, if you work it out, and Joel certainly will tell you, you know, in terms of how much that would cost a day, you know, you'd be surprised. If you save $5 a day, you'd be surprised at what you can raise over 3 years. So come along, put your hand in your pockets, pray about it first of all, because I always say to people, if you can't give, please don't. But if you can, be as generous as you can be. So thank you for taking time to listen to me and even see me. God help you. But I just have great confidence in our parishioners. We are always a very generous parish, and I think this is the big test. A project we can't see, but one that we can love, and one that's going to be there for 100 years after we are gone. God bless you, and thank you.
Our Lady of Guadalupe parish is located in El Centro, California. The parish was originally founded in El Centro as Mission Cristo Rey and served migrant workers primarily from Mexico who worked in the Imperial Valley. In 1947, a church was constructed, then a parish hall was added to the facilities in 1980. By the year 2005, the parish hall was needed for weekend masses because the church was too small for the congregation.
Well, my name is Father Mark Edney, and I have the good fortune to be the pastor here at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church in El Centro. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my parish here. I've been the pastor here for about 2.5 years. We're a thriving parish of there's about 2,500 people that regularly come to Mass here on the weekends. It's a parish that's very thriving, but suffers from the situation that we live in the valley here, which is principally due to a poor economic condition. Our situation economically is harming our pastoral situation in our Catholic community here.
Father Mark mentioned, the community is active. From 2,300 to 2,500 individuals attend Mass each weekend. To accommodate this number in the space available, 6 Masses are said per weekend. Yet, there is still inadequate space at many of the Masses. In addition, there are serious economic challenges. The El Centro and Imperial Valley communities were particularly hard hit with the economic crash in 2007 to 2009. As an example, in one newly constructed residential area, more than 80% of the homeowners lost their homes. And recovery has lagged behind the state of California as a whole and many other areas in the United States. In addition, the 2 largest employers in the area recently closed their facilities. Crushing poverty has become the norm. Unemployment rates have stayed in the 23 to 25% range, and more than 20% of the population subsists on food stamps. Father Mark has identified 3 major immediate facilities challenges for the parish. First, the seating capacity for weekend services is inadequate. Second, there's limited parking for those attending Mass. And third, there is insufficient space for the growing faith formation needs of the parish.
Here. We have so many people coming to Mass here, but our church, the present church that we have, holds 270 people only. So we for the last 10 years we've had Mass in our hall, which holds about 550. It still requires us in this parish to have 6 Masses on the weekend because we don't have space large enough for the people coming to Mass.
As Father noted, for the past 10 years services have been held in the parish hall. But with the current attendance of 2,300 to 2,500 individuals, the parish hall capacity of 550 is inadequate for the number of individuals attending, even with 6 Masses per weekend. Furthermore, the space is poorly configured for liturgical activities. The parish hall was not originally designed as a church. The tabernacle and the altar reside in locations of convenience that do not represent the focal point of the space. The resulting layout creates confusing flow patterns for communion and substantial challenges for handicapped access. Indeed, the size and the alignment of the aisles create problems for large funerals. Neither the casket nor the pallbearers fit.
At our, say, 10 o'clock Sunday Mass, there's about 650 people coming to Mass. That's on average about 300 cars. Present capacity parking lot that we have, which is in the interior courtyard of the church space, is 60.
The mismatch between the number of available on-campus parking spaces, 60, and the number of cars arriving for the large Sunday Masses, 200 to 300, means that the cars are spilling over into the nearby residential neighborhoods and around the adjacent city park. And over time, and the recurrence each weekend, has led to some resentment in the neighborhood. Currently, the parish has 5 small classrooms, which are inadequate for the size and the diversity of faith-based activities currently being conducted by the parish. To address these needs, Our Lady of Guadalupe, with the assistance of the Diocese of San Diego and the St. Therese and St. Brigid parishes, has launched a capital building project they call Capilla Cristo Rey. The project is designed to directly address the 3 challenges Father Mark identified: space for worship, parking facilities, and space for faith formation.
So some people have been asking me why Cristo Rey for the name of the church. Our parish, of course, is Our Lady of Guadalupe parish in El Centro, but it came to me that it would be very important to name this church, new church building, this hall converted into a church building, Cristo Rey, which means, of course, in English, Christ the King. And the reason I think it's so important for us to do that is because the first people who came to this part of El Centro to worship here called their mission Cristo Rey. They believe that Christ is the King of the universe, and that wherever you go, you will find Christ there. So they found Christ here, and they added, there's a Quonset hut that right now serves as our kitchen, which was their first place of worship, which they used for about 30 years. And it was called, again, the Mission Cristo Rey. To name this church Cristo Rey is to give testimony to the example that they give us, that Christ is wherever we go and wherever we are.
A key component of the project is the formal conversion of the parish hall into a worship center to be renamed as Capilla Cristo Rey, the Chapel of Christ the King. A major element is raising the roof in the facility 20 feet, converting the roof to a more church-like configuration. In the process, all of the air conditioning, electrical, and heating systems will be replaced and upgraded. Upgrading the air conditioning system is crucial because of the requirements for running it 9 to 10 months per year, with summer temperatures averaging more than 100 degrees and frequently climbing past 115 degrees. This rendering enables you to visualize the new configuration that will replace the current flat roof. In keeping with the conversion of the facility to a chapel, the altar will be repositioned and the seating will be reconfigured along a wide center aisle. As you can see in this picture, the altar will now be the focal point of the facility, traffic flow will be improved, and 150 seats will be added simply due to the reconfiguration. The second major feature of the project will be to increase the parking. 3 uninhabited lots have already been purchased and a 4th is to be added. When complete, the new parking facility will provide an additional 120 parking places. In this picture, the area highlighted in yellow represents the 3 parking lots already acquired. The 4th, outlined in purple, is contiguous. These parking places will then provide direct access to the parish campus. The third element of the project is to increase the space for faith formation. 3 large, flexible classrooms will be added to the west wall of the new chapel. The 3 classrooms will dramatically increase the capacity for various faith-related classes and activities. In addition, because of their orientation to the chapel, these 3 classrooms will provide an additional 150 seats for masses. In the picture, you can see the 3 classrooms are directly adjacent to the west wall of the facility. The additional spaces available from the classrooms, plus the additional seating resulting from the reorientation of the facility, will yield a total of 850 seats.
Of course, it's important for our parish to have a proper space to celebrate Mass and to accommodate the people that come in their cars, and to have sufficient space for all the children that we instruct in formation. But the benefits of this project are far greater than those. Even though those are important, they're greater. This area has suffered a lot economically. What they need most is hope. And they need to be able to believe, actually, that not only can we have a church sufficient for our needs, for our worshiping needs, but also actually that you can believe in a project and make it possible. I've said often that the most important thing about this project is to help make my people believe that we can grow and that we are not isolated and alone, that there are people to help, that the church is much bigger than our parish.
The overall budget for the project is $3.5 million. The most expensive portion is replacement and upgrading of the air conditioning, heating, and electrical systems while raising the roof.
We in our parish want to make a contribution as much as possible to this building project, this development project for our parish. But the commitment that the people have made in this parish is to give $1 a day. $1 a day for Cristo Rey. So we have 530 families that have since September 14th of last year have been giving $1 a day. But really, some of my people here in this parish cannot afford much. And to enable them to keep up to their commitment of $1 a day, they literally bring $1 a day into the parish office and hand it over. Some of my more financially better off parishioners have given a lot more money than that. And we have had people commit to this project who are not of this parish. So there's a real sense in this community, not just of our parish in this side of El Centro, but in the wider Catholic community of the Valley, to support this project at Guadalupe.
Through the $1 per day campaign, the parishioners at Our Lady of Guadalupe will raise nearly $500,000. The Diocese of San Diego has committed $1 million, and the capital campaigns in St. Brigid and St. Therese respectively are each to raise an additional $1 million. Professional services associated with the project have been donated, and the architectural services are being provided at a discount. Notably, some members of the St. Brigid parish have volunteered to work with members of the Our Lady of Guadalupe Knights of Columbus to assist in the renovation of homes in the vicinity of the church. We will now turn to a discussion of the specifics of the campaign and how you can help. As you pray about and evaluate your ability to contribute to the campaign, consider these words. If not you, then who? And if not now, then when? This table outlines some possible levels of giving described in terms of potential payment schedules. To the far right side, you can see how each of the levels translates to a level of daily sacrifice. Even at a mere 2.5 times the contribution of each of the Our Lady of Guadalupe parishioners, a contribution of $3,000 is made to the campaign. Please address your questions and requests for additional information to your session leader. Thank you for your support of St. Therese of Carmel and your enthusiastic support of Our Lady of Guadalupe's project, Capilla Cristo Rey. God bless.